clearly like our generation is toasted, right? But as we look to the future of the people that's coming behind us, like what are we telling our daughters? Are we telling her to test it out, or are we telling her to make sure she better guy, properly get married, and then
I would tell my daughter that sex is not something that should be tested in order to qualify for marriage. It shouldn't be part of the vetting process because sometimes you can have some good days and sometimes you can have some bad days. I would tell her to look at more things on a spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all evenly yoked? Is he a leader? Look for those things. And you might find that he might not be good in bed whenever y'all first, you know, touch each other or whatever. But later on in the marriage, he might be the best thing because y'all love each other to enough to where y'all got so connected, y'all was willing to work on those things and find different remedies to make y'all connection much stronger. And I think if we use that as a filter, then we gonna be doing ourselves a disservice, and then we're gonna be eliminating ourselves from many chances to have a meaningful relationship just because of sex. When one could argue that sex shouldn't even be on the table whenever you consider marriage. You should be doing it afterwards. But we all know people gonna do it before. But if you're gonna do before, please just don't make that a qualifier. You can most definitely work on that thing. There's therapists, sex therapists that are willing to work with you, that y'all can come together and figure it out. So don't just make that a deal breaker. Especially if he's hitting on all other angles aspects of the relationship, and then that's the one thing. Just don't screw yourself out of a meaningful
hey,
relationship.
Cook, you want to respond? You
People
want
are making life decisions over 20 minutes in a day, 2 times a week.
Dr. Hank is taking consultation.
Hey, Cookie, you want to respond?
Well, no, I was just doing my
Well,
normal,
I
making my
mean,
faces.
okay.
Huh?
What they call you, Cookie?
My mom ate Oreos with me when she was pregnant. She had an addiction to Oreos. My mom called me Cookie was born before I was born. Any other questions? Okay, keep
So,
going.
what advice are we telling? Would you tell your daughter?
I told my daughter to find someone and get married as soon as possible, and but make sure her dad is he meets her dad and that her dad approves, and that they're friends because I feel like that's very important. And
As far as sex, what are you telling?
as far as sex, I don't tell her not to do it. I just tell her if she's going to do it to be careful because telling a teenager not to do something is pretty much just um, inviting them to curiosity. So I would leave that up to her father to tell her why she shouldn't be doing it. I would not specifically tell her not to do it. Well, I co-parent with her father, so
Okay, but you are okay with her waiting to after marriage.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I just don't think I'm not. Why would I be the one to tell her that? And I'm not married, and I have her.
Well, I mean, you're grown now. I just want to know what it's looking like for the future.
Oh
So
yeah, no, no, no,
I just,
no.
I just want
I
to
tell
know
my
what
daughter every day, do not be me. Don't be me. Go talk to your dad, and go seek advice. But as far as being
So you wouldn't be
not marrying
upset
her
if she did
father,
give it
no,
up
I wouldn't.
because
I
she been
told her I
watching
wouldn't
you.
recommend that for her, huh?
But you wouldn't be upset if she happened to give in because she been following behind you.
Would she be following behind me? I didn't date. I didn't date until my daughter got grown. I
No, I'm
literally
saying
am
I'm talking about
41
as
and
far as
single because I didn't date.
if she did give in to having sex before marriage, you wouldn't be mad because it would be hypocrite, or it would be her excuse probably would be, okay, well, mama, you did it when you were young, so
You know what's crazy? I don't have that type of daughter, but if she slipped up, um, I know her father would get involved and be upset. I would be upset. I would be more disappointed than I would say upset because I've instilled in her since a young age the way that she's had the foundation that she needs. I have not been a single mother, so I don't consider myself a single mother. So I would be very disappointed if that was to happen, but I would not. stone her at the fucking bury up to her neck and stone her because it happened either. We just figure out what the next move would be and try to give her the support system she needs. But she's pretty level headed though.
I think you guys made a good point, just for a little small dialogue, but it'd be hard for our children to take advice from us knowing that we are still participating in the same behavior that we're telling them not to do. It's one thing to been to have done it, but have you ever overcame it? And if you overcame it, then what does that life look like for you as an individual, as a representation moving forward? Like I've been guilty of making a lot of mistakes. And so when I sit down and I talk to my son, I'm not really mad if he does some of the things that I've done, or I may have a different conversation with him and say, look, what I was doing was all wrong, or what I've done is wrong. So this is what I'm inspiring to do and what I'm trying to focus on now. I do want you to be better than me, but understand that this was incorrect. So when you see me now, you're going to see a different versions of me because I got it. I got the game. I got the information. I got the correction later. But you have the opportunity to be able to get it now because you're still young. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I've made as a man. And so those are the type of conversations that I'm having with my 18-year-old, like my little youngin'. I think he will probably have a better example because let's just be real. Some folks get it late. Like some folks don't have the opportunity. Some folks just had to teach themselves or they didn't have good examples. So, once you get it, the key is being able to start applying it. And if it makes logical sense, then I think that it is your duty to make it make sense, to fit it in your life and to be that example. So if you know you've been doing wrong, it's the wrong thing, even as an adult, your kids are still looking at you. So even if you say I'm grown and I raised them, they still looking at the decisions that you make because they've always looked up to you. And even if you're grown, they still look up to you. So like, what type of person are you? And I think if you have serious conversation explaining the differences as far as how you learn, I think that they can understand that you are human and that you're striving to do better. So I think my conversation is different. That's why I think we need to continue talking to our children and not just hand them off to the world because they may have missed a lot of stuff just like us. And if they missed it and you caught on to it later, that means that you missed in your teaching. So now you got to go back and make sure that you try to reel them back in because they may be on a path that they may not necessarily tell you that they own. They may be out here living foul. Your child can be, as let me use Chicago Rilla words, a slut monkey. You don't even know it.